This video is based on ALGOL, the second generation programming language. The history of ALGOL. Algorithmic language is one of the several high-level languages designed especially for programming scientific computations, which developed by a committee of European and American computer scientists in 1958 at Zurich. ALGOL was used mostly by research computer scientists. It was used in a commercial application was hindered by its lack of interest for the language by computer vendors. There were three specifications in ALGOL, named ALGOL58, ALGOL60 and ALGOL68. ALGOL goals should be as close as possible to standard math notation. Readable without too much additional explanation or even comments. Can be used for describing computer processes in publications. Mechanically translatable into machine code. ALGOL58. ALGOL58 was originally proposed to be called International Algorithmic Language, named IAL. It was the first version of ALGOL and designed in Zurich in 8 days. It was instant hit but was not standard. ALGOL60. ALGOL60 was first implemented in May 1960. It was very different from ALGOL58. Errors were corrected in revised report. ALGOL60's goal was a universal programming language. In one sense, it was a failure, and in another sense, it was a huge success. ALGOL60 evaluation. Successes. It was the standard way to publish algorithms for over 20 years. All subsequent imperative languages are based on it. First machine-independent language. First language whose syntax was formally defined. Failures. Never widely used, especially in US. Reasons. No I/O and the character set made programs non-portable. Too flexible, hard to implement. Formal syntax description. Lack of support of IBM. ALGOL68. ALGOL68 was introduced new elements including flexible arrays, slicers, operator identifications, various extensibility features, reference types, and user-defined data structures. ALGOL68 was huge, general-purpose language but was not widely accepted. ALGOL60 is a simple and expressive language. Its successor, ALGOL68, is much more complex. It designed with the goal of a much wider scope of application and more rigorous defined syntax and semantics. Features include expressions, base syntax, user-declared types and structures, a reference model of variables and reference parameters, string and array, and matrixizing and also concurrency. Language features. Dynamic arrays. Array is set at the time storage is allocated. Reserved words. The symbols used for keywords are not allowed to be used as identifiers by the programmer. User-defined data types allow the user to design the data abstractions. Call by name, the default method of passing parameters. This is an example for call by name. This is another example for call by name, a general sum function. Elements of an ALGOL program. The simplest valid ALGOL program is begin-end pair. The begin-end pair can enclose a list of declarations, a list of modules, or a list of statements. If begin-end pair is preceded by a procedure heading, the entire program is a procedure. Procedure can be typed or untyped and can have one or more parameters. This is a simple program gives the output as hello world. The begin keyword indicates the start of the block of code. End keyword indicates the end of the block of code. This is a sample program in ALGOL that is shown to convert Fahrenheit temperature to Celsius temperature. Compound statements. Program units can be blocks or compound statements. A compound statement is a block without any declaration, and a block is a statement that groups one or more declarations. This is the structure of compound statement. This is an example for compound statement. This is a minor issue in compound statement. This is the structure of the blocks. This is an example for blocks. Scope of an identifier. In an ALGOL program, in a block, an identifier can be used to denote one set of values, characteristics, and in another block of the same program, the same identifier can be used to denote different set of values. In one block, the identifier example ident can be declared as a real variable, and in another block it can be declared as a string variable. The identifiers. There are two types of identifiers in ALGOL, as global identifiers and local identifiers. The local identifiers. An identifier that is declared within a block is referred to as local to that block. The value or values associated with that identifier inside the block are not associated with that identifier outside the block. An identifier that is local to a block is global to blocks occurring within the block. The global identifiers. An identifier that appears within a block, not declared within the block but declared in an outer block, is referred to as a global to that block. Global identifiers are used in inner blocks to do the things like to carry values that have been calculated in an outer block into the inner block, to carry value calculated inside the block to an outer block, and etc. Here you can see an example which describes local and global variables.